Hi Joe, yeah, about 11 o'clock or just after the Fairfax Group announced that it would, much along the lines of the announcements at the Sydney Morning Herald yesterday, appoint two new people in two new positions, which are quite different to the roles of editor-in-chief previously. Andrew Holden, who is, a fairly young appointment. He's only been a journalist for about 25 years, who has worked for The Age before for about 7.5 years. For the past 4, he's been working as the editor of the Press in Christchurch and earned quite a name for himself during the earthquake by getting an edition of that newspaper out the next day after the earthquake and keeping it running in spite of the fact that the Press's building had been badly damaged. He also coordinated the coverage for the Fairfax Group of the Sydney Olympics in 2000 out of Homebush Bay. So he's kind of been floating around middle management for some time at Fairfax and has obviously impressed people. I've spoken to a number of people who have been associated with him and The Age in the past who say that it is a good choice, a fairly good appointment, and that he'll be a sort of steady set of hands, if you like, during all of these changes. The news director who's been appointed, Steve Foley, he's quite a fixture, shall I say, at The Age. He's got about a 40-year track record there, and I'm told he's
sounds like you and the ABC, Jeff.
Sorry?
Sounds like you and the ABC.
Not quite 40 years yet, but thanks for that, Jeff. Yeah, no, he is. Shall I say, steady, as I said, he's intimately interested, if you like, in the structure of newsrooms and how they operate. I'm told from colleagues that he's had a plan for how to deal with this whole convergence thing for many years, and so that's another good appointment as well, I'm being told. So his job will be to look after how the change, well, it appears his job will look after how the change will happen insofar as the output of news is concerned in Melbourne through The Age and its website and the new coordinated newsroom that will be set up. And Mr Holden's job will be more of a hands-off figurehead editor-in-chief, if you like.
It's going to be tough.
But of course, they're degraded roles, a degraded role from the previous editor-in-chief. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, so degraded in terms of what? Because we were talking about this the other day about how the structure of the organisation was going to change a little. How is it lesser role than it was previously?
Well, I mean, we're still speculating, to be quite honest, because we're apparently going to be told the nature of the changes, the nature of the restructure tomorrow.
Okay.
But having said that, the speculation is that and one of the reasons that is being said that the previous editors-in-chief would have resigned yesterday is that the new editor-in-chief will not run a private fiefdom, if you like, over the newspaper in the city that they're in. They'll be in charge of, if you like, the news gathering in Victoria for The Age, whereas there'll be a new level of editors, junior editors, who will be looking after the coordination of national coverage across Fairfax newspapers and international coverage. So one can only assume that there'll be an international desk, there'll be a national desk of some sort, and they'll have editors sitting on them who will then feed stories for both papers, for both the Sydney Morning Herald and The Age, and presumably the Canberra Times and others as well, and feed those stories into some sort of pool, and then the editors-in-chief in the various cities will pull what they want out of that pool and use it to complement their local coverage.
Okay, and it's going to be tough for these people walking into these positions now because they're going to have to oversee this huge program over the next 3 years of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people losing their jobs. That's
right. I mean, terrible thing to have to start with, but kind of exciting as well. I mean, it's obviously appalling that 1,900 people are going to lose their jobs over 3 years. Of course, not all of them are journalists, but it's a terrible state of affairs and something that they'll all have to confront. But kind of an exciting period as well, because if they're successful in this, if they're successful in making the websites in particular viable as the newspaper subscriptions and the newspaper take-up decreases, then they'll be very, very well regarded within the industry.
Yep. Okay, ABC fixture Jeff Waters, thanks very much for that.
Thanks, Jay.